Hello everyone, it's good to be with you again. It's been a long time since I've made a video, so I'm going to try to convey a few thoughts to everybody and see if we might get some discussion going in the threads that this particular video will show up on. First of all, let me introduce myself to those of you who may not know who I am. My name is Pat Huff, and I am a retired principal, educator for 34 years, retired, now currently an adjunct professor, and happen to be working at a small Catholic university in Midtown Houston. Now, the subject that I'm going to talk about today isn't about COVID. However, I do want to say how much I'm thinking about all my friends that are in education, and just hoping that things are going to go well for you. I know you've got a tremendous challenge ahead of you, and so I'm thinking about you. My heart's with you, and wish you the best of luck as you begin to transition either back in the building or online, whatever it happens to be. And I know that districts are offering both, and I think that's probably the right way to go for now. I do have hopes that we will get back into the building with everybody. Don't know when that will be, but I do hope and I pray that will happen, and I have faith that it will. But that's not the topic today. The topic, I'm bringing up this topic of school choice with everybody because I think it's a very important topic to talk about. It seems like it's entering the conversation more and more when you listen to people that you like and you trust, and you listen to them on podcasts or on the news, and the things they talk about you agree with, you like, and then all of a sudden they inject school choice into the picture, and that's the answer for education. And it just makes me cringe because I know that's a trap. The idea of pushing school choice is a trap, and it's part of the education agenda. It's where the people who make these plans for education and have been for decades want the direction to go. So who are they? Everybody wants to know who they are, right? Well, it happens to be the politicians, of course, right? And the bureaucrats that support the politicians, the lobbyists, the corporations, the NGOs, non-governmental organizations that happen to direct policy and work with the corporations, work with the lobbyists to move the politicians in certain directions for their making of their laws. That's what controls education. And the reason why all that is being done is, and I think everybody can kind of relate to this, is that there's big money in education. And there is big money, billions, I'm talking billions of dollars, in education failure. Let that sink in for a minute. People making big money off of education failure. And so that's why we have this phenomenon that is talked about of school failure. And I've talked about that a lot. So I'm not really here to dwell on that, except to get you to understand that education is an agenda and it's moving in a certain direction. And what I really want people to work with me on here and trying to understand is that we can change the direction of where this is going if we just put our heads together and speak in one voice. Now, when we talk about school choice, here's what we're talking about, okay? You've got charter schools, okay? You've got vouchers, you've got homeschool, and you've got private. So, what are they really talking about in those? Of course, private, we've had that forever, right? Homeschool, a lot of good things happening with homeschool and parents that can dedicate their lives to helping their children out and taking responsibility for their education at home. Got it. Good thing. But not everybody can do that. So then we're talking about vouchers and charters. And we're going to knock out vouchers. I'll do that another day. We'll talk about that. But right now we're going to talk mainly about charters. So when we talk about taking charters, Charters make up about 3% of the national population in terms of who is the number of kids that are going to charter. So then you throw in there the other things I mentioned, homeschool, private, and some states have a voucher program, others don't, most don't. Then you're talking about 5% of the collective kid population, student population of the country. So when you make a decision to go charters as the solving the educational problem, then what are you going to do with the other 95% that are in the traditional public schools? Are we just going to forget about them? Are we not going to try to work to provide and give them the very best education that we can? I don't think we should do that, and I think you would agree with me on that. So we want to begin thinking about the reverse of what going the charter direction and think about how do we fix the 95%? And educators, this is who I'm talking to right now out there, my superintendents, principals, teachers, counselors. We can fix this problem. We should be fixing the problem. We should not be allowing politicians and bureaucrats and corporations to fix the problem for us. This is our profession, and we should take responsibility for it. So how do we fix it? I'm going to just do two quick things now to get us on the road to talking, and then I'm going to do some follow-up videos to help people understand how this whole thing came about to begin with and why we're in this predicament and why we're thinking about just going the charter direction and not trying to fix the 95% in the traditional public schools. So there's two things that have to be done. One is we've got a curriculum that is not what it should be, and I think everybody would agree with that. And it is Common Core. We have Common Core in Texas. If you have politicians that say we don't, then they're not being honest with you. Talk to any teacher, and they will tell you that we have Common Core. So we must eliminate that. It's deficient. It is taking our kids in the wrong direction. It's not logical. It's not intuitive in its thinking, especially in math. And so we need to move away from Common Core. So we do away with Common Core. That will help. But then we have to get rid of and outlaw the accountability system. In order to do that, it's going to take legislation. And that's where our collective voice is going to have to come in. So what is the accountability system, right? It's the testing. It's teachers teaching to the test to get a good outcome from their kids. And then it's all about the rating that the school gets and that the district gets. And so if we eliminate the test, then we can begin to return to the teacher the responsibility of educating the child in the way that he and she need to be educated with a strong, sound curriculum. And so if we take care of Common Core and we take care of the accountability system, then we're on our way. And people say, well, that's going to be impossible. No, it's not. No, it's not. We have reached a time, I think we've reached a tipping point where enough people are aware that the direction we've been on is wrong. It's been wrong for a long time. And we stand right at the edge of the cliff because the corporations are set. They're ready to privatize education. That's the direction it's going to be moving, especially if we go more online. And so I'm going to work on trying to get this message across to you, but I want you to start the conversation amongst yourselves and begin talking about we need to save the 95%. The 95% is what's important. And here's how we do it. We start eliminating Common Core, let the districts get back to choosing their curriculum that they're going to use for their kids in their districts. And then we take care of the accountability system by doing away with the state test, doing away with teaching to the test, doing away with teaching for a rating that's ridiculous. Everybody knows it punishes the poor. It punishes our Title I kids unbelievably. So let's get away from that. Let's get back to sound thinking, good, solid curriculum and education, and put the responsibility back in the hands of the educators. All right, we'll leave it there for now. We'll get back on some more things that happened, and we'll talk at you later. Bye.